3 legal must-haves for your website from a lawyer. So you started an online business. Maybe you already created or paid someone to create your very own website, or maybe you even already have paying clients. You're up and running, so congrats to you. But wait, your business, is it legally protected? Is your website legally compliant? Now, I know what you're thinking. How important is this really? I mean, lawyers are very expensive, right? And startups and entrepreneurs usually have a very tight budget. So can the legal stuff just wait until you're actually making a profit? I'm sorry to say, it cannot. If we are meeting for the first time, my name is Christy Nash and I am an attorney turned entrepreneur. So I have been in your shoes as a startup and as an entrepreneur, and I've had to ask myself some of these very same questions. In today's video, I'm going to share the 3 legal things you really need to have on your website, the must-haves for your website to get started. But I have good news for you. It's not as expensive as you think it is. Why do you need to legally protect your website from the very beginning of your business? Starting a business is hard. The time, the energy, the sweat, the worry, the stress, and the money, it all adds up. You need legal protection from the very start of your business to avoid putting in all that effort for nothing. Because here's the thing, one seemingly simple legal mistake could cost you your entire business. And if you're like me, you became an entrepreneur partially because you wanted control. Control over your time, control over your income, and control over your life. I'm here to tell you that having that control is so freeing. It really is. But I also need to share with you that there's one thing still mostly out of your control as a business owner, and that's legal risk and legal consequences. Anyone can be sued at any time. Businesses are exposed more, and therefore they're more susceptible to lawsuits. And additionally, there are just a ton of regulations out there that govern what your business can and cannot do online. So no matter how small your business, your website, and your online presence are still subject to these regulations. Regulations that, if violated, will subject your business to monetary fines, wait for it, up to $24 million, possibly, or even shut down your website. So now do I have your attention? Before you run for the hills to avoid the lawyer coming at you, there is good news. With a little planning and a small but necessary investment, you can mitigate your risk or lower your risk of negative legal consequences. There are 3 things you can add to your website today that will act to protect your business, mitigate risk, and ensure that you are in compliance with the laws regarding websites. Even better news, you can obtain these 3 things without hiring a lawyer and having to pay those expensive hourly rates. So what are the 3 legal sections you must have on your website? Okay, did you know that there are some portions of your website that are just non-negotiable as far as the law is concerned? These include a privacy policy, a disclaimer, and terms of use. Go take a look at any of the websites that you visit often. I promise you, you will see all 3 of these components in some form or another readily accessible on those sites. So privacy policy, why do you need one of these? The simple answer is the law requires it. There are at least 2 laws out there that specifically require a noticeable privacy policy on your websites. One is the General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR, and the other is the California Online Privacy Protection Act. Now, you may be thinking, I don't live in California, so I don't need to worry about that one. Wrong. You need to worry about both of these regulations because no matter where you live, your websites reach people in California and all over the world. So check out my video description, and there are some links there if you want to do some light reading on these 2 legal regulations regarding privacy policy. But the things that stand out to me are the fines. So under the GDPR, your business can be administratively fined up to $24 million. It's a lot. And under the California Act, you can be fined from anywhere from $2,500 to $7,500 per violation. And these regulations also provide consumers with the right to sue you privately for any damages they incurred from violations of these regulations. So that's some big risk. But another reason to include a privacy policy, put your business hat back on, is to earn trust and credibility with your followers, letting them know things up front, like how you collect personal information, what you do with that information after it's collected. Lets your followers know that you're legit, you care about their rights, and you intend to run your business in the right way. Okay, the second thing is a disclaimer. This is required on your website. Some people call it a disclosure. Disclaimer, disclosure, tomato, tomato, both serve essentially the same purpose: to legally protect you regarding the content you post on your site. So, for example, here's my disclaimer. Nothing found through or contained on this site or YouTube channel constitutes legal advice. Hustle with Heart is not a law firm. Hustle with Heart is not your lawyer. I am not your lawyer. I am not a substitute for a lawyer. And communications between you and Hustle with Heart, while protected by my website's privacy policy, are not protected by any legal privilege, including but not limited to attorney-client privilege or work product privilege. It's a mouthful, right? But it's necessary. You need a disclaimer to mitigate the risk of someone relying on information found on your website, which in turn could result in damage or negative consequences to them, whether you intend it to or not. Whether your website content centers on parenting, health and wellness, recipes, or fashion, someone somewhere will likely take your word as the holy grail and rely on it. Think about this. So you run a cooking blog. One of your followers burns themselves while cooking your recipe. Now, it's very likely this follower incurred the burn due to her own negligence or just happenstance, but she claims she followed your blog to the T, and if not for the instructions on your blog, she would not have gotten burned. Sound like nonsense? Believe me, I've seen lawsuits filed over facts even more nonsensical than these. And without a disclaimer, you won't have much to protect you from the liability that may result. It's this type of risk that a disclaimer or disclosure is intended to avoid. Number 3, your website must contain a terms of use or terms and conditions section. An effective terms of use acts as a legally binding agreement between your website and its users, the people who access it. The terms of use set forth the rules and regulations that govern use of your website. It notifies your users what will happen if they violate your terms of use, or if they use your website or information found on the website in a manner which violates your agreement. The terms of use also acts to further protect you and your business from claims by a website user or consumer. It allows you to define what is permitted and not permitted regarding conduct on your website. This is also the section that contains all that legalese that non-lawyers love to read. You can require any legal action regarding your site be through binding arbitration. You may require any legal action be filed in a specific jurisdiction, like maybe where you live versus Alaska, where your website user might reside. So your terms of use should also incorporate the other 2 sections we discussed about, the privacy policy and the disclaimer. That covers all your bases. So there you have it, the 3 legal must-haves for your website from a lawyer. So how do you obtain these 3 necessities today so you can update your website to ensure legal compliance? You can check out my show notes and head on over to my legal boutique for easy to use, do-it-yourself legal templates on a privacy policy, disclaimer, and terms of use. I have options to purchase them a la carte, or you can save by purchasing in a bundle. It will literally only take you minutes to download and then fill in the blanks and have your privacy policy, disclaimer, and terms of use ready to go to post on your website to protect you and your business. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up and let me know. And I always appreciate when you share my channel or subscribe to my channel because that helps me help you with future videos. Suspicious property require a conspicuous